Hi everyone, and welcome to Seed and Plant Exchange Projects number 1. So, basic materials, you need a milk jug, some type of a Sharpie. I just prefer Sharpie. Sorry, it's not a commercial. And a good pair of scissors. These are actually kitchen shears from the grocery store, but with a little bit more work, you'll be able to use any kind of inexpensive scissors that you would have at home. So, again, highly detailed. If you notice, this milk jug has a texture around it. And it's really kind of cool in that, and you also notice a groove. It's very cool in that this is your pattern. This is what you're going to do. And I'm sorry, you're going to be making one of my favorite gadgets for around the house. And I'll show you how you can also do that with a few other things. Biggest thing is that it have a handle that just makes it really, really convenient. So let's get started. All right, you'll notice our groove here. I am just tracing in this. Couldn't be any simpler. And I'm going to go at about the height of the handle here and on either side, so that looks pretty good. And what I'm doing is I am making my cut lines. Not necessarily the most attractive thing in the world, but alrighty, kind of like cutting out a circle, you've got to get a starting place. So what I would do is, if you've got good scissors, just kind of use that corner there. It just has a little bit of a point, so it's easier to get the scissors and the cut started. So I am just cutting, as you can see, to the line. And the reason I'm doing that is very much like when you cut out something that has a lot of extra and it kind of has a nice curve. If you will take some of it away, and it makes it a whole lot easier. It's also good when you're doing corners. So, a little scissors tip there that you probably didn't expect. Okay, cut that corner there and right there. So, this should cut away pretty easily. I don't have to stay right on that line and on that groove, but it does give me a guide. And again, cutting up into that corner, just so it won't be so difficult. All right, well, isn't that convenient? The little pieces, some of them anyway, were falling into the container. I won't even have to clean up after myself, will I? All right, almost done. Having cut it like this, it also, it just practically bends with that little groove there. So, a whole lot simpler than you might have expected that it would be. Now, let's get the bottom done. I probably didn't make the straightest line here, but that is okay. These are not actually meant to be pretty, but I do have some ideas at the end as to what you can do to use this for something very, very pretty. All right, so what did that take? 4 minutes, judging from my camera. In essence, this is complete. Now, you might ask, what in the world do you do with it? Well, I'm glad you asked. This can actually be used as a plant container for the plant to live in, if you like, and it could also be for transport. Let me show you. Alrighty, I brought in one of my house plants. Now I don't know if my hole here is quite the right size, but let's just see. The plastic is flexible. Whoops. You know what? I forgot to cut a little bit of a curve here in the bottom, or right in the center, I should say, on this bottom line. And you can do that however it works best for you. I just wouldn't go too much past the handle because otherwise the milk jug will collapse on you when you go to use it. All right, okay. Finally, got that in there. Well, isn't that pretty? And look how easy that is to carry around. Now, I'm going to take that a little bit further. It's quite pretty. I think any drips that I might get in the plant while I'm watering it will go right into the jug. And let's say I have been working on this plant. Maybe I was getting it ready to give it to someone as a gift. So I grabbed a piece of fabric, and I think my fabric's probably a little bit large, but I can still work with it. I'm gonna pleat the sides as I tuck them in. Now, of course, if I do it this way, there is the risk of water getting into the fabric. So this is really just what I could do if I wanted to take it to somebody. They could then take it out. All right, you're not want to stay. Okay. So as I said, I'm gathering this up a little bit, tucking it, and then tucking it in. All right, that's not too bad. I would probably, if I was giving this as a gift and didn't need to get this done quickly, I would probably take a lot more time to do that. And you could also do this with aluminum foil, of all things. It makes a great covering that is very easy to shape to whatever size your container is. Okay, so I've got a lot of fabric back here. What I would probably do would have been to have cut this off smaller. But you know what? I'm thinking, I'm thinking that I'm going to twist this up and I'm going to wrap it into the handle. How about that? And this side needs a little bit more work. So let me get this folded and tucked in. Okay. Well, how about that? I'll cut off this little edge right here. And I happen to have a ribbon. So I have two options. I can go ahead and wrap this on around and tuck it in. How about that? That turned out nicer than I thought it would. Okay. So again, I would take more time and play with that and get that a little bit more settled, a little bit more even. You could always staple it, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to damage the fabric, because the idea would be to take the fabric off and be able to use it for something else. So I've tied a bow on the milk jug handle. I tucked my fabric all the way around, and look at that. I have something that I could give to somebody as a gift. I like that. What you could do, obviously I still have this black marker here. I could cut that off if I wanted. I could also do what is ultimately what we do when we maybe don't have enough pretty paper. I could hand this over to my children if they were small, or my grandchildren if they were here, and with markers they could draw all kinds of things. They could draw, "Hi, Gigi." I could, or they could, put a smiley face on there. Now, is that a self-contained project or gift? So, that finishes that, and I also wanted to give you some other ideas of what you could do with the milk jugs. This is one that I cut out yesterday. I actually was storing all of my materials, my Sharpie, my scissors, my notes inside the little container that has now been made because of using the milk jug. And as I said, it's pretty sturdy. If you weighed this, if it was full of water, it would probably be a little bit too heavy. But these are great. It's open, you have a storage space, but my favorite is this. I did the same thing to a vinegar jug. And I like them because they're always really well reinforced. I have used these empty as paint containers, containers for soapy water when I clean out a brush after painting. It comes in really, really handy. But I keep a lot of oil cleaners, things that are drippy, and the containers get messy. So I have shelves in my utility room. So I cut these out and just put them on the shelf. The cool thing is I could write on one side what's in it. I'm hiding the ugliness, shall we say, of all my bottles, and I then just set this on a shelf. And these do come in a variety of sizes. This is the gallon. They also make I believe it's a half-gallon container. And if you really don't need the handle, this is what else you can do. You can just cut that top off, put whatever you need in there. It's ready to store, it's contained. I really do like using these clear or white or milky clear containers for a variety of things.